Okay,
That's cool.
Good morning and good evening. We are here today on our actually first call, Lemonade Talks of Women Heart to Heart. And we have here 6 women from, I think we have people from French Polynesia, Canada, United States, UK and Switzerland. So it's pretty global group, and it's wonderful to see you all here. What we wanted to talk today about is the difficulties and the crisis we've been all experiencing. We're living in pretty unprecedented times, which are putting a lot of pressure on us individually, as organizations and as society. So we wanted to talk a little bit what does it mean for you personally, and how are you handling this specific period of your life? So my first question is, what are the unexpected positive outcomes you have found working from home, having to isolate? It's not obviously it's not an easy time, but what are the unexpected positive outcomes that you've experienced?
For me, I work as a professor during the day, and in class when we were meeting face to face, my students, I try not to. The way that I design my lectures is not to just talk at them, but to interact with them. And sometimes it was hard to get them to open up about things. But since we've had to do our courses 100% online, I've offered forums where, I'll just show up and they can show up if they want to, and they can talk about anything. And I'm learning so much about them and from them because they've really opened up. They want to talk about it because that's a generation. I teach 18 and 19-year-olds. So they were not around for anything even remotely close to what we're going through now because they weren't born yet. So for me, it was surprising to see that more people are willing to come together. There's more of a community sense, and they're willing to talk more.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So it's actually a confirmation that when we get distracted from our usual ways, this could be an opportunity for more creative and new ways, because yes, very often we get so much, when we go the traditional way, we get so set in it that we miss opportunities to re-energize, recreate, and beautiful. Yeah, so lovely to hear that. What about for you personally? Has it been any different working from home?
Yeah, well, I mostly worked from home because even though I'm a professor, I would only go in once a week, and the rest was I worked from home. But for me personally, I am creating actually more. It's like it opened my mind. I'm a writer, and writers observe the world. We observe life, and I'm writing stories that I didn't even know existed in my mind now. And so it's and I used to compose online. I used to compose on the computer, but I got my notebook and pen, and now I feel like I can't keep up with the thoughts in my head. So my writing is actually behind what I'm thinking or feeling. So for me personally, I've been more productive.
Beautiful, beautiful. Anybody else share your experience? Yeah, Katalin.
I am very excited to be this time and live this time. Honestly, it seems to me that my whole life I have been preparing for this. It's sad to see, of course, what's going on, but the whole world is now on their knees. Everybody. So for me, I've been waiting for this time, honestly, because we have overused everything, our energies, our world's resources, Earth's resources, each other going for more and more and more and more. And I've been for years talking about less and less and less and less. And right now, so I had a moment when I was just in the garden for, well, I shouldn't say a moment, it was probably a week that I cleaned my garden, which I normally don't have that much time. I always run after I have done all my work and do a little bit quickly. And then now I had 1 week of total meditation while I'm raking, cleaning, pruning, which I am going to actually put on every social media. So you have cleaning to do in your backyard, literally and physically, in every sense of the word. So that was great. And that's when I came in last week to see you folks. And instantly I said, oh my, this is what I've been waiting for. For how long? I prepared some programs for leadership, innovation, for women leaders at retreats. I had my brochures all made up. I invited a whole bunch of women leaders like yourselves here. And the very day I gave it to them, next day, basically everything shut down. It's like, okay, so that's another effort. I've been doing a lot of these innovative ways of living, working all my life. Okay, so let's switch again. I have no idea what I'm going to do. But when you folks came in, Natalia, I said, thank God, these people are amazing. So immediately, the wheels are turning. Let me see what's positive about this. Okay, so how can I learn how to use Zoom? How can I put all my programs that I have developed online? And how can I help the women? How can I help the world? It's like, yes, yes, yes. Now I just don't want to be overwhelmed because I have the tendency to overwork. So I have to go back to the garden to and do some physical activities in between, not just the garden, but the yoga, or I won't do Zumba right now by myself. I don't feel like doing Zumba, but I can but I can do yoga and run around the block. I can still go around. So
there are some great online classes, Katalin, so you won't be by yourself. You will be by yourself in front of the camera.
But I want to be able to actually teach my courses. I have developed amazing courses and online, but I just don't know how to do that yet. But anyways, the first positive thing is like quickly, okay, I can bring people together online. I don't know what I told you what I'm doing, but I'll be doing it next week. So I'll tell you next Saturday or Sunday what I have done. I have no idea, but we are moving forward, and I'm so grateful for all of you. I do need some tech help though.
I'm willing to help you.
Other things.
Since I do online courses, I'm willing to help you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Me too.
I love you.
Katalin.
Thank you so much.
I can help you too. I do online courses also for a while now. So yeah.
Thank you, Kay.
I'll help you out.
And another thing is, I have been working on a book forever. So can I just have the time to actually put it together and somebody to read it, and I can just publish it now quickly? Because it's what I've been talking about all my life. But it's this little now, okay? And I haven't been able to read it through, okay? But you can read the whole thing in 2.5 hours. You know, my flight from London to Budapest, that's when I said I'm doing it. After one of the conferences in England last year, I was at the meaning conference, and I said, okay, as I'm flying from London to Budapest, I said, okay, I'm gonna write my book in such a short way that it has to be, or anybody can read it in 2.5 hours. So I want to get this out quick because people need this right now. And it's almost like point format, but it's practical, doing. As well as going into the heart and mind and soul, and everything is in it, believe me, everything, but point format. So I need help with that, or support. I can write it, but I need some support. Do it by now.
Well,
okay?
Lauren has experience with writing a book, so I'm sure she can give you some tips.
Thank you. Anyways, thank you all. I will figure this out.
Oh, that's beautiful. And so I want to say two things. Three. First, I think we have reached a point of diminished return. So I completely understand what you're saying about less. Less is more right now. So that is the one positive that I am taking, but that doesn't mean that I don't do the work. I'm actually working more now than I was before, if that was even possible. With the book, let's start with that. I used a book coach. I'm happy to give you her information, or I also used a ghostwriter. I'm happy to give you her information. And you can do it. I can give you that information and you can go forth and publish. And you can even publish on demand, so it won't be that expensive for you. There are obviously different levels of publishing, from very inexpensive to very expensive, so that's something that you could choose. Second thing I'm excited about, so I have never developed an online course, and I'm working on one now with my daughter, who just graduated from college, and she just was accepted, and she's going. She accepted her offer from UCL, the University College of London, and she's going into her postgraduate program is governance and ethics. So long story short, she is going to be my assistant in developing this online course called Personal Productive Strategy. And it's a 6-week course. I'm working on the outline now, and I have a meeting with a community college here locally that I have a relationship with. But wouldn't that be amazing if we, in the Women of Heart to Heart, could collaboratively, I've never taught a class before, work together to, and whomever wants to be on that meeting with me on Thursday, we can work together, pitch it, and I know they'll pick it up because I already have a relationship with them. I'm one of their ambassadors, and promote it, and maybe we can promote it. I don't know, we could talk about that, but that's what I'm working on now. So if anyone wants to be part of that, I think that would be a great way for us to have something and show or illustrate that we collaboratively in this group provided something that's tangible that we can actually take to market together. Wouldn't that be fun?
I do.
Laura, it's very funny you say this, because I'm working with my business partner on a train the trainer course online. So this is something we wanted to put out. We've been a bit taken aback by time because there was so much other things going on, but we were supposed to work on that in the beginning of April, and we're looking for a pilot group, because the idea is to construct it from the start all together. So we meet up like every week and we speak about parts of Train the Trainer online, because we are both trainers in real life on different topics, but we kind of match. She lives in Switzerland right now. And the idea was, meet up with a group of people who were interested to have this, and then work from there to construct the course. I will get back to you guys because you take me a bit aback. But we could do something like that. Yeah.
I love it.
I was already in there.
Count me in for that one too, and Lauren, you too. Okay, because I'm a teacher. I've been developing all these programs. I've been teaching all my life, and all of a sudden I'm not teaching, not face to face. Everything has to go online. But I'm a teacher par excellence. This is what I've done all my life. Different levels, and it's always about people.
It is. So that's beautiful. So I'm working on the outline now, and the meeting is Thursday. So I'll send an invite out after this to everyone, whoever wants to participate. We can do maybe a pre-meeting, and then whoever wants to be part of the pitch on Thursday. It's at 11 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday.
I'll be there.
That's cool. Me too.
Yes, me too.
Okay, I'll send you it.
I need to look what time that is for me, but normally yes.
This is amazing already. I'm so excited. I'm serious. I'm so excited. It's like how can I hold it?
How can things get better? Better than this, yeah.
So positive. It's unbelievable. We needed each other.
We did.
So that was really beautiful, and that leads me to my next question. So obviously, at least I want to believe that we're in a temporary situation, and it's gonna go away. It's gonna be a few months like that, but then it's gonna go away. And my question is, what would you do differently when we get back to normal?
May I? I don't think ever we'll be going back to normal. There's no such thing.
Okay.
There will be a new normal.
Cannot. Normal, whatever we have known normal, is never going to be normal again.
Normal.
So we are creating the new normal.
Okay,
I think
beautiful.
the world is changing also. Yesterday I saw some statistics about the how you call this in English? The ozone, the
Paul?
oh, I'm sorry, the meridian and the pollution,
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
and actually it's decreasing in pollution. Because people obviously cannot use their cars, cannot use it, and there's really something beautiful going on because we're cleaning the earth. So when I saw this yesterday, I was like, yeah, obviously this virus is actually cleaning the earth in every way, even in physics way, statistics way. It goes to pain, but it's going on very, very different levels, and yeah, the earth is cleaning itself. So I think we are going, yeah, like Katalin said, it's not going to be the same anymore. We've been taking away humanity. The only thing that provides us, makes us vibrant, we cannot have any contact anymore. So this made people reach out even more, and obviously some of us will go back into normal mode because we're used to it, but there will be always a lot of us that don't want to go back to normal. I mean, people are working from remote. I expect that the workplace is going to change because they obviously will want to keep on working from remote, or partly anyway. So if we can during crisis, why can't we there will be no excuses for bosses anymore for that. They would not be able to give an excuse because it's possible. So I think that will be changing in workplace, but also I've felt that connecting with people was so much easier, is so much easier now, because people just want to meet people. And I said it before, but I have the feeling that, yeah, it's more authentic. You can be just yourself, and if you don't like it, unconnect. So.
Beautiful. I also saw just before our call, we had the TV on and they showed the waters of Venice. And we've been talking about it for a while, but now I saw it. They were this light blue. And if you've been to Venice, the water was always dark.
Very, very dirty.
Like almost black. And now it has this light bluish, greenish color. Amazing, amazing. It's totally, they said they've never, nobody has seen it like that ever, actually. I mean, the people who are alive now. So it's, I had goosebumps when you were talking about the cleaning of the earth, and I know it's happening, and I know we've been talking so much about it, and we've been talking about sustainability. One author that I really like says, why are we talking about sustainability? Do we really want to sustain what we have, or do we want something better? And this is what's happening, actually. We're being disrupted, and we're going to get something, I hope, better than we expected, better than we planned for. Beautiful. Okay, so another question I have for you is, what inspired you or moved you in the last week? What is something you've experienced that really, really inspired you, yeah, or you're grateful for?
Right.
So for me, it's been people who want to help me, because obviously my business, I've big part of it locally. I have an online business also, but it just started, so I cannot provide for myself only with my online business. So locally, everything stopped, and at first I was really scared. I was feeling like, how am I going to do this? How I'm going to provide for my family? My husband is also locally very active, so it stopped completely. He's online too, but also in the start. So we're in starter blocks online. So we're not ready for this, not providing for our family. And I put a bits and bobs together, and I didn't find the money to pay rent, to pay our food and everything. And then family hopped in. My landlord canceled my rent for this month, and I will pay her back later on, but she canceled it through. And then some local people turned to me to help them put up online courses. And I was thinking, what is doing this? Is it me? And I realized that it was just me letting go of the fear once the first fake was going through. And then sometimes you just need to ask the help. And I let go of the fear. I called my landlord. I told her the situation. And I would have never done that if I was in another situation. I always pay my rent, always, even if I need to eat pasta for a week. But now I didn't have the choice. So I just asked her, and she was like, yeah, of course I'm gonna help you. I'm not gonna put you out of your house. So yeah, for me, that was really something. It meant really, if I ask for help, I will get it.
Beautiful, thank you.
I've also been grateful for the bonds. I had these bonds before, you know, for many years, but sometimes, you know, when you change jobs or move to a different place, you lose contact with people. So I've been grateful for all the people who thought of me and reached out to me, and much like what Kay was saying, they asked me if there was anything they could do to help. So I feel grateful for the compassion, and, you know, that people didn't forget about me.
Oh, that's lovely.
Beautiful, thank you. Okay. What about personally? What are you learning about yourself in this experience? Please.
During this week, the last 2 weeks, let's say, I realized my resilience power to uncertainty, the uncertain conditions, let's say. It is what we have all lived up till now about during the different times of uncertainty, being jobless or losing our loved ones, things like that. They have strengthened our immunity to these uncertainty. And that's why it didn't took so much time for me to shift to a surprising environment to what's next. So what I should be doing right now, or what I should be concentrating on. Then I started working with a coach to strengthen my marketing for my business, let's say, because I don't need to go to a meeting event or commute elsewhere. And these, let's say, these powers, these experience we had in our previous times are small pills that we are taking during this big pandemic time, let's say. What did I do when there was an earthquake in Turkey and 17,000 people died and you were supposed to go to the office because the financial markets were running? Or, for example, in 1970s in Turkey, there was so much political distress and there were fights on the streets. Are you from the left side or the right hand side? And the people were abolished going out. And now people are complaining, oh, we cannot go out. That's okay, because outside there is no fight. You don't have a danger of being shot by elsewhere. So now I felt my strength, how I can go through. And now getting excited. Things will be over. Then there will be a new normal, as we are going to expect. And I'm just getting excited. Will I be able to finish what I have designed for my new life? Because we don't know when it will be over. And I don't want to be caught up. Oh, I haven't finished my working through my website or whatever. So I have just shifted to a state of excitement rather than anxiety. What am I going to do? If it's stuck, we all have families, even though we are not married or whatever, we have connected worlds, and the world should be running. The show must go on, let's say. So there's something I have created. Maybe I have heard somewhere, but maybe I have created. Yes, we are in the storm, but what you do during the storm will determine where I will be when the storm is over. Where do I want to be? So this is what I have taken away. I think it's quite transformational for my side.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. Anybody else want to reflect on this question? Or should I move on?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Heidi.
Sorry, finally, after the network issues here in Cairo, I'm in Africa, and the network was crazy with the lockdown. So finally I made it, and I actually joined you. Excuse my camera, it's playing up, but at least I'm talking to you and listening to you guys finally.
Welcome, Heidi. Great to have you here. We are just to bring you a little bit on the conversation. So we've been talking about the current crisis we have found ourselves in, and how it's impacting our lives, how we're reacting on it, how is it transforming us, and what are the unexpected positive outcomes we've had. So far, I'm honestly, I don't know. I lack words to express the energy that's on this call. To me, we're not in crisis, we're in a revival, we're in a rebirth, we're in something amazing. I mean, there's the emergence of the new here, rather than a sense of crisis and desperation and anxiety. There's energy, beautiful energy. What about you? How have you been, Heidi, in this period? How are you experiencing? What do you want to share, maybe?
For me, I actually, as the ladies said before, actually the resilience, it's the word striking me now at the moment. Especially, I had acquired the disability back in 2013, and I'm not talking about crisis, I will talk about the bright side of it. So I felt this feeling few years ago, since 2013, when I was only 33. So I've been experiencing all of that. I've been through depression, anxiety, and you name it, all mental illness you can name. But I found out there is no way out of it except being in a positive vibe, surrounding myself with the right people, surround myself with the right tool, and start actually to surprise myself with the set of skills I always have in my mind. And I thought that I lost them with this injury or what happened with me or with the accident I had. But it's all actually brought back to me with a huge power of bouncing back. And since then, it's really successful life, getting lots of awards, like more than 150 awards, being a motivational speaker, speaking for people with disabilities, being the voice for people who can't like express themselves well. I always telling myself, English is my second language, I can't actually speak, and I always put myself down in these situations. But honestly, after the resilience I had and the experience I had, it's a start actually to show me up that it has nothing to do with language. It has nothing to do with where I come from or my background, or it's all about inside abilities of bouncing back It's all in me. It's all about how I unleash the potential inside me and how to put it right in the right situation and surround myself with the people who will help me in this journey. And I think one of the reasons I'm here in this hub, because I felt this in everyone joining this hub. All of us have a story. All of us have something to say. All of us want to share something and deep in the heart. I love the name Heart to Heart, which is actually encouraging me more to talk really and honestly and authentically from my heart. So that's all. I hope, I got it clear. I'm trying, and remember, I'm ESL. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Can I ask you girls a question? I really wanted to know your answer on that. This week, I'm gonna put it in context. This week, I've been struggling with being my authentic self because I got some criticism about it.
So, Kay, do you want to continue with your question?
Yes, I wanted to know how you guys feel about that. So this week I had some criticism on the way I am, basically. I make videos to promote a course for managing a remote team. And I've done it in such a way that for me is really inviting, because I'm somebody who is bubbly, who's very positive, and I really wanted to pull them in and be like, okay, if you're struggling with managing your team on remote, just take this course and go for it. And I put it in an epic music behind it, very American, I know, but I just was really excited about this. And one of my clients locally asked me to do the same for her. So I did, with the same energy, with the same thing. And what I got back was, how can you be this? People are going to be offended by you. So I don't want you to be like that, because the world is going crazy. Businesses are shutting down. It's a big crisis going out there. So you cannot try to sell a course in that way with that energy. So you have to pull it back. So at first I was like, okay, this is your business you're talking. It wasn't for my business, because this is my way to see it. If I do it for my business, I do it like I want it to. And if people don't like it, they don't like it. But this was something I was doing for somebody else, and I need the money, to be honest. So yeah, I decided to pull back, and I did this video again. And I felt like I've had a broomstick in my butt. Sorry for the expression, but it wasn't really like that. And try not to move my hands and be really serious. And yeah, I didn't feel like it at all. So my questions to you guys are, how far are you going adapting yourself to the environment? So it can be the environment of the crisis, but it's also in normal business workplace life. I had these reactions also. What is adapting yourself to an environment, or what is changing yourself, not being yourself anymore? So this was a question I was thinking about this week. I have my answer, but I'm curious to know yours.
I think everybody wants to say something.
I think we all experience the same thing, sweetheart. Honestly, so many times. Yes, I cut back, I shut up, I move back. And just because exactly I was trying to adapt myself to the situation here, which has been very tough on me. But that's why I became global completely, because I could find always people who think like me. So and to find my authentic self. So, okay, I put up with it, but never give myself up, ever. That put me back financially and in every way so many times. And you know what? I don't care, because I can stand up in front of God and man straight. And I don't care. They didn't appreciate what I was doing and what I'm talking about, what I'm trying to teach. No, I have to be me, completely me, truly authentic and fully me. And I'm speaking my truth. And if you don't like it, tough.
Did time play something, because we are from a different age, Katalin. I'm in the 30s, so obviously I'm in another period of life than you. Did that help, or?
I did the same thing even when I was young, and that's why I'm so happy right now in my life that actually I can be completely allowing all this to happen. No, I did that even when I was your age. I did things with my children that most people would not. Allow them to go to school or have them tested for all these brilliant IQs because they're all brilliant. I don't want them to know all that. So I went against the grain. I'm not teaching whatever was in the school system. I'm not a school teacher. Okay? I gave them everything beyond that. I sent them around the world. Learn, be with the richest, the poorest, the everything, and learn how to use your head, heart, and hands and make something of yourself. They're all struggling, but they are truly authentic. No way. What's more important? So you have to balance it, I suppose. When you need money, I do too, because I'm still supporting, my mother and, family and everybody and myself. But the more authentic I am, the happier I am, the more work and business I will have, because people see and know that I'm excited about what I'm doing, and the money comes. They will hire you. The right people will hire you instantly. So let them go. The ones who don't appreciate what you are doing. Be you first.
I had to learn that lesson too. I'm in my 50s. I'm 53, and in my 20s, I would adapt to people, because you can literally see how people react to you, or at least I could. And so I would try to change myself, but then I realized, probably at the end of my 20s, I realized that I was the only one not getting sleep. They were coming in and they were fine, but I wasn't. And so I started being who I am. And what I learned was that when I am my authentic self, I attract people who are like me. And the other people, you're always going to have naysayers. You're always going to have haters. And they just stay at a distance. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine that they stay at a distance. So money-wise, yes, people didn't hire me for certain things because I'm a certain way. Mm-hmm. But I realized they weren't my ideal client anyway. Mm-hmm. So I've learned that lesson too. So now I am, just like she was saying, I'm happy. I'm happy every day, because I'm being who I am and I'm doing what I want to do. And I thank you. But I'm struck by people who hire me knowing who I am, and then they're surprised by what they get. And so I've had to have that conversation as well. It's like, but you knew that I'm a bubbly person, that this is how I am. So why did you hire me? And in the end, they accepted what I gave them because I still got the job done, and they ended up benefiting from the way that I am. So yes, we are in strange times, right? But I feel like because you're a light, don't dim it. We need the light more than ever right now. So don't dim who you are. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Beautiful.
And only solution is social distancing from such people. That's the way. This was something last week or 10 days ago, we were bombarded with WhatsApp messages and videos. I just unfollow and leave those groups and other stuff. If it disturbs you so much, you can kind of say that, I'm sorry, I'm in a period of social distancing. So we all have limited energy. And I think in any case, we should always prioritize ourselves. It's not about, you may guess, it's not about being selfish, but unless we are fully happy with ourselves, we can be useful for anyone else, to our family, to our environment, whatever. And as you may guess, you are average of the people surrounding you. So you better decide who do you want to be the average of. And for the business side, I think Jill and Katalin has already said enough. There's nothing else to add.
Thank you. Thank you for your thoughts, because it's a summary of what I've found out for myself. I decided that because being authentic in my corporate life has been quite a road, but also once I knew who I was, this is something that pushed me forward, and I started to get promoted and stuff, and people really wanted me for who I was. But as I was a manager for big groups, I have you have to adapt your communication to people, because otherwise you cannot manage them. And as I usually do this for everybody, I had to find a way to keep myself as my authentic self and still adapt my communication to people. Mm-hmm. So that was what I was actually doing with these clients. And yeah, I decided for my business I just do like I want, as I wish, and then just see it more as I was doing with my teams. I told her that it was the way we agreed to disagree, let's say it like that, because she's a very good client. I do lots of work for her, so I really want to keep her. Also, we usually get along. This was just one thing that was not, we agreed to disagree. So, but yeah, I really, when I understood that it's been your authentic self and just adapt your communication to it, not to offend others, because my goal is not offending others, being myself, but stay myself through it. So, and if they don't like that, then yeah, they will, but it was fine afterwards. She agreed to disagree, and then we start working together, and I didn't have any other issues with it anymore. So I think I'm quite proud of myself that I was able to tell her without losing her as a client that I just didn't disagree. It's her way of seeing business. It's her business. So obviously I'm going to adapt because it's her business, not mine. But I just don't disagree. Just don't agree with her. So yeah.
One thing I think beautiful conversation altogether. I don't want to add anything to it other than our February book, and some of you are newer to the community, but our February reading challenge was the book of Adam Kahane, Collaborating with the Enemy. So I recommend it a lot because it's a lot about how do you work with diverse people with very different upbringing, different values, different everything. How do you still collaborate while remaining true to who you are? This is key in the book, so I recommend it.
Excellent. I have had a couple workshops with Adam Kahane.
He's amazing. I totally adore his work. Yeah, he's
amazing.
Really
yeah, I think it's exactly that. That's what I'm teaching my clients in management coaching also, and that's what I found that worked the best for me managing big groups of people was how adapt, because obviously you have different cultures, different values, and once you understand what her or his value is, it's much more easier to tell yourself, okay, this is her thought. I need to respect their thinking, their values, their culture, and then just see how we can collaborate in a way that it responds to their values also as mine. And most of the time you find like a parallel anyway. Yeah, one of my biggest challenges was working with African men. It was my last team, and it was really, really hard for me as a young manager to find the communication with them. And at the end, once I understood what their values were and started to talk to them through their values, the click was made. And at the end, yeah, they were like, don't go, okay. So I think that's something that's really important, that I stayed myself, but I spoke to them through their values. And that's kind of what I did with this issue. So.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing what you did. Yeah.
Yeah, can I add from my experience as well with coaching, especially coaching for leaders? It's really a challenging task because they all feel that they are leaders and they can't be actually learning a new topics, and that's totally a miss and wrong. And I feel that with every workshop I'm actually delivering, that I'm setting my clear set of mutual understanding of what we're doing here. We're not actually in a competition. We try to deliver a workshop and be clear about the task and be task oriented. And I use lots and lots of EQ skills and referring to EQ as much as I can, because this is a trick with those workshops, because it's really tricky when you work with leaders and at exec level, especially. They all feel they have it all and they know it all, and they don't have. I'm very honest with you, after delivering 300 workshops, and every time I have this, and from actually grassroots to ministers. So I'm talking with experience of 7 years here. So I know exactly how you feel, Kay, because I'm in the same boat and on the same page. But when I find myself, I'm more task oriented, and I actually refrain from using personal comments and try to have shared vision as much as I can with them. 90% actually issues solved and to a better side. And again, it's with high diplomacy, because of, by the end of the day, they are the clients, they are the people who will pay me, and the economic side out of it, I'm 100% with you that we have to please them, but be you, because everyone else is taken. And actually, because of you are bubbly and nice, they hired you at the first place because of who you are at this state. So don't change who you are for anyone, because you are a leader like them, and you honestly just playing it smart with them with bits of diplomacy and bits of EQ, and EQ to the max. This era we live in, it's all about EQ and personal stories more than IQ and more than the traits of intelligence we have. So that's how I feel. And that's from my limited experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. It didn't sound like you have limited experience, but you're being humble. Yeah, 300 workshops, that's amazing, yeah. Beautiful. So we're going to an end, I think. Is there something someone wants to add, say, something you wanted to say but didn't have a chance? Now is the moment.
Well, I've talked a lot, but I just want to say that I'm just so happy to be a part of these talks. It's like it starts my week off well, and it's a highlight for me. So I thank all of you all.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you.
I think we all feel the same way. I speak for myself, but I think I can speak for the group too, because we all express that.
Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing week, and I look forward to seeing you in the community. It's a lot of people are sharing with me, but it's becoming addictive, and people start their morning with it. So I'm happy for that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Natalia.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.